This background looks like I'm on a work Zoom meeting right now with someone right now. Where's the peacock backing?
You don't see the peacock backing? You don't see it
Oh
right there on the
my
TV?
I just saw it.
It's subtle, you know? It's almost subliminal.
How did they make that for you?
No, I made this. As you know, I'm so good with making things on. Yeah, they made it.
I mean, they gotta. I'd say it's too subtle.
Well, this is the new green screen backgrounds. We rolled them out today. They were sent around. Got to pick one. I can throw another one up.
Yeah, let's see.
I mean, that looks like a business suite. Like that's like, are you at the Marriott right now?
You guys want the tour? I'll give you the tour.
Yeah. Let's see what else you have.
Let me add another one. Let's see here. I gotta save them. I can't go through as quickly as I'd like. It's getting a little wheel.
This is riveting.
I know.
Is
Here
there
we go.
a mint
Oh, here we go.
Yes. This is like a catalog.
Did you guys what kind of tell us how the sausage got made on these? Were you guys going through stock photos and picking these out?
Well, it's actually an interesting story. What happened is I got sent an email with all of these and said, pick one.
Oh, I like that one.
I don't know.
This one feels very like crack rock New York Penguins right here.
Oh, maybe I'll stick
with
this one
skyscraper.
Then. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll head back to this one once we get through the tour.
There you go. Oh, we got more of the tour.
Oh, there's more. There's more. Got a spinning wheel here, and it's about to come up. There we go. Oh no, did it stay? Oh no, here we go.
Oh, okay. This one is what?
That looks more like normal.
It looks very normal.
That looks like my couch in my living room. That might be my great couch.
This one they said was inspired by Ben Gretsch, actually.
I mean, I'm not kidding you guys. I have a couch with a low back and a pattern just like that.
That one's good. That one's good.
You like this one? Yeah, I think this one kind of looks normal. I like the plant in this one. I think the plant's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it actually kind of looks like your regular setup. Just if it was fake.
Yeah, this one felt kind of natural. You get the nice one. I think there's mountains in the background of this one, which I kind of like. It's kind of aspirational since there's no mountains here.
There you go. And let's see here. Evan is shocked that Gretsch has his hat on forward, but this is very purposeful.
Somebody got a shipment in. I'm excited. Yes. I had to show off the logo, you know.
That's right. We do have ship chasing gear in. We got the snapback hats, we got the hoodies, we got the shirts. I think I even put a beanie up there. Someone requested a beanie. So check that out. Link down below over in the store. Get outfitted for the winter. We got a request to talk about our couple of
that was like an actual ad. I mean, he was like, get outfitted for the winter. And then just like moved on. Like that was an actual commercial.
Well, I have been known to go into sports guy radio voice on this show. What was the Pat one?
You asked me what I had for dinner. I told you I had Mas curry. You went, that sounds like a delicious curry.
Sounds like a good time. Let's transition over to our team. Okay. We did get requests to see some of these teams, although good God, I almost just did the screen share with the bid showing. And this would have taken the bit to a whole new level.
I'm happy with that, Pete.
Don't worry, I'm getting my house in order. I'm getting it all set. Everyone relax. Everyone, please relax. I can't even zoom in at risk of showing the bids, but I do have the standings up here. So two of the teams that we have with Gretsch, one of them is also with Sean. Both of them are pretty intriguing teams right now. This is our team with Sean chasing stolen bananas here. We're leading the league in points here by a decent bit.
Almost 100, yeah.
Yeah, by almost 100. This team is super interesting because we don't have Saquon right now. And basically our 2 weak links as of like 3 weeks ago, we thought were like Jalen Waddle and Mike Gesicki. And they've just been on an insane tear right now. And this lineup's looking pretty nice, guys.
Yeah, Sean pointed out to me while we were recording, he just sent an email to all four of us actually as well, that we scored 177 points last week with both of our top two picks out of the lineup. Diggs was on a bye. Saquon was hurt. Pretty good. Pretty good to get to over 175 with your top 2 picks not in the lineup.
Yeah, and I mean Jamar Chase. I mean,
well,
maybe
also Saquon was
Yeah, we still don't have Saquon. We have another team with Silas and Gormanji that's charging pretty hard right now as well. That's only like 30 points out of first place in points, and that one also has Saquon Barkley just chilling. So if we can get him back, and I know Ben, you guys with Sean, I know even Sean and Colum, I think, have some Saquon teams. I feel like the RotoViz ship chasing universe is weirdly invested in Saquon returning.
We're very into Saquon Barkley right now.
Yeah,
we have a lot of Saquon, a lot of Jonathan Taylor, some Gibson too, which we don't have as much hope for. But those early second round running backs, a couple of them have been, not ideal, but they're looking good for the stretch.
I overruled Sean on a start sit decision at the last minute on Sunday. Luckily, it wasn't catastrophic, but per usual, Sean was right. I put Rondale Moore in our lineup at the last second, 3.7 points. He had Jamison Crowder in there at, 7.4. So even when I try to get sneaky, Sean's always right. He didn't even respond to my emails. He's like, I don't have the
energy. I thought he did.
I
think he must have said something to me.
Just said it.
I think we were all on board with this suggestion.
Okay.
I think you did. I think you did right.
All right. I was.
We won't talk about when you started Devin Singletary back in like week 2 or something like that at the flex.
What was my other bad one recently? Pat asked me, I think it was 2 weeks ago, Ty Johnson or Zach Moss, and I was like Zach Moss, and then Ty Johnson had the touchdown that week. So yeah, that's how it goes.
I think we did OJ Howard over someone last week that wasn't good.
We also, we have lots of teams where we have like 2 of Njoku, Cameron Brate, OJ Howard, and Cole Kmet. We're always.
Pete, was this the team that we drafted after you and I did the randomizer? I was asking Sean; he couldn't remember if we were. Yeah, we were shithouse drunk for this, right? I was.
Yeah, I think you might have been more drunk than me. But
after the randomizer stream, I was really drunk. Was it the Sean draft?
It might have been the Crack Rock. I can't. It was either Sean or Crack Rock.
Maybe it was Crack Rock. That would make sense too. Yeah.
I think it was Crack. Wasn't Crack Rock a Thursday night?
Yeah, I'd have to go look at the schedule. Crack Rock might actually.
I think I was drunk for when we had Crack Rock on. So maybe I was drunk a lot during draft season.
It was August. There was a lot of drinking.
Poor Crack Rock is he was in the ship chasing mentions the other day saying he's never tilted anything in his life harder than Robert Woods over Cooper Kupp.
It didn't work out very well.
I was playing that scenario, but there was he was at the. Were either of us logged in for that draft, or was he the one making the decisions?
I think I was logged in, but remember, I was logged in, but remember, he was like, you were like, "Are you sure you're using your overrule?" And he was just like, "Yes." There were still 20 seconds on the clock.
I'm trying to think of
but I'm not even sure we were locked into in Crack Rock's defense. He immediately in week 1 or week 2 thought that we were locked into Kupp, and I didn't know the same thing then because we didn't know Kupp was going to be this good. But it's kind of just built over time. I think he thinks we were like Woods or Kupp, who's it going to be? And I don't think we would have even landed.
No, we were saying he was like, I want Robert Woods, and we were saying if we're going Woods, we should go Kupp. Yeah. But we weren't pushing Kupp. I think DJ Moore was there, right?
We wanted DJ Moore.
I just pulled it up.
We wanted DJ Moore.
Taken Moore. Yeah.
So,
we were like, we'll take Moore, and he's like, no, we got to go Woods. And we're like, if you want Woods, if you want to go Rams, then let's go Kupp.
Yeah.
And then he was like, Woods.
So basically, that turn was disastrous because our ideal way that would have played out was Kupp and DJ Moore, and instead we ended up with Robert Woods and Tyler Lockett. And the team is still good.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's look at this other team. This is ship stealing the team. The
what
three
if
of
that
us.
team had Kupp and DJ Moore? Wait, now I had not done this. I had not.
It couldn't have had both, right? Unless the guy really wanted Robert Woods and would have taken.
No one was taking. DJ Moore wasn't super popular at the 3-4 turn.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Sorry.
Unless Shelley was in the draft that he was.
That's true.
Yeah. So this team is super fun here, especially now that we are getting the Bengals actually throwing a decent bit. We're getting Jerry Jeudy back, and this team's starting to come on decently here for us. How are we feeling about this squad? Let me pull up the standings here. We're lower in the standing. Is this our ship? Yeah. So ship stealing is struggling points wise.
Yeah, this is the team where we took Gibson. So
yes.
Gibson was our anchor. We knew we needed Gibson
anchor
to
is
be
a good word, actually.
The rest is history. We actually have a pretty solid team here, but Judy's been out. Gallup's been out. Gibson has not been good.
We were going to take Ridley if we didn't take Gibson. So we kind of would have been in this situation regardless.
I know. And I wanted to take Kittle, but you guys already had too much exposure to Kittle. And that would, and I was like, yeah, all right, we won't go Kittle. What are we going to do? Ridley or Gibson? It's not been good.
Take? Yeah.
Yeah. The although I did see Kittle, it sounds like he's nearing a return, based on at least getting back to practice.
I think they said week 9.
Yeah. So hopefully, I mean, the ship chasing portfolio needs Kittle back in a big way. If we can just have one get out of jail free card, can we just like get Kittle and Trey Lance balling out down the stretch? I mean,
we did this draft pretty early, right? I mean, this was an early draft. I think it was.
Oh, this was was this our slow draft?
This was August 2nd.
Yeah.
August 2nd. God, that feels like a long time. Okay.
And I will say, one of our other worst teams is Pat and I's slow draft from beginning of August. Maybe we're going to have to rethink. I mean, firing up the slow draft right when they open up is very fun, but our slow drafts aren't looking too good in comparison to our
we finished second last year.
Yeah.
With our slow draft. I mean, I think it just creates more variance. Like you just can't possibly know. We hit on Darrell Henderson in that league. We also have Gibson. We also have Kittle. We have Mike Evans, Claypool, Chenault, Cooper. We're just kind of like, we don't, like if we had Cooper Kupp on this team or something like that, we just don't have like the big firepower. We're just kind of like chugging along with a bunch of mediocre dudes. So
this was also the team that we had a tough time. We really liked the first half of the draft. We had Diggs, Gibson, Hawkinson, and then we went wide receiver times 5. And then we got Dillon and Pollard. And we were feeling really great that we had Gibson, Dillon, and Pollard. We had 6 receivers. We had Hawkinson. But from that point on was where we, like, almost none of us got the guy that we actually wanted to take at any point because we would, like, settle for something that we were all okay with. Do you remember that? Like, we kept getting in those positions where there weren't, like, guys that we actually loved, you know? We had a couple turns that were tough.
I was pushing us towards waiting on quarterback.
Yeah, you wanted Lawrence. We wound up getting Lawrence, even though we had I think Pete and I had talked you into Burrow.
But the Burrow pick, I mean, if there's a chance of this team kind of putting it together, I think Burrow would be a big piece of that.
Yeah, we had James White as well, which would have been cool, but he's hurt. Rager went in that range. I remember you wanted him. I think I was pushing for Jacoby Myers on this team, like early on, when he was going pretty late.
Yeah.
Before he jumped, because I remember then he jumped, and I was like, God, those assholes. I think you guys took him in your next draft, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, cool. Those assholes.
We don't have any Jacoby Myers.
We don't have a share of Jacoby.
Okay.
Don't worry.
No, we thought about him pretty hard. I think we took Damian Williams over him though, so that kind of worked out until it didn't.
Dan asking, I mean, if Jerry Jeudy's playing this week, I think we're rolling him, right? Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, and I could see there's some teams where we would maybe have the luxury, not to. We have teams where we're sitting T. Higgins this week because that's how loaded we are at wide receiver. But on this team, we definitely have to play Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
Oh, the other one on this team we were excited about was Sony Michel. Got him really late. Remember Sean, the whole Sean thing, and then he got traded after that, and we were like, oh hell yeah! And then he was going in the 8th round, and we had him in the 18th round, but he wasn't worth going in the 8th round either.
It is funny because what basically it's like Sony Michel was like a 1% probability bet, and then he gets changed to like a 20% probability bet overnight, and then you're like, fuck yeah, like this is something now.
Yeah.
But 4 out of 5 times, that's still worth nothing.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it.
Gretch, What is your take on this? Because you had an interesting nugget about this in Stealing Signals and also kind of about Zach Ertz. But what's your take on Rondell and kind of how he fits into this picture with Kirk and Ertz and these non-nuke pieces right now?
Yeah, I mean, Ertz only ran routes. I think it was 56% dropbacks, and that could expand. It was his first game on the team, but Rondale's routes were
Williams was at though.
What's that?
It's right where Max Williams was at.
Right. That's exactly kind of what I wrote about. That Rondale and Kirk were both up a little bit the week before Ertz came in because Williams was out. They did more four wide receiver sets. We knew that was going to come down, but both Kirk and Rondale were both like right around their routes range, their average for the season essentially. And so yeah, so you can put that either way. Ertz was right around where Max Williams was, or they were right back to where their average was. I didn't really see that as like a big negative. It's not like Ertz has come in and been a bigger. Or at least in this first game, wasn't a bigger piece than what Max Williams has done. It's still sort of a tricky path, but like that could have been Daryl Daniels or somebody stepping in. I don't know. My thought is like Ertz is not necessarily that great. With Moore, the bet is still look. He was really, really efficient right away. That's a positive. We don't know where the chaos could come from, but we do know that chaos can create opportunity for rookies, especially. And even maybe not chaos, just because rookies tend to play more as the season goes on. We're not that far into the season. It feels like we've been waiting on Rondale Moore forever. There's still a lot of weeks left for this dude to play more. He's really good. And yeah, I mean, like AJ Green, Zach Ertz, like, are we convinced those guys are going to be healthy? Like DeAndre Hopkins is questionable for tomorrow night.
It sounds like truly questionable.
Yeah, there's a chance he doesn't play, and then we get a big Rondale game. I mean, you got to like hold Rondale and just be patient. We don't know where the chaos is going to come from, but I do think that there's a very good chance that it could come somewhere.
I think that's exactly right. And I mean, if let's say DeAndre Hopkins misses, their only play is to put Christian Kirk on the outside, right? Like they don't have, what are they going to play, Keyshawn Johnson? Like they don't have another guy, so they need to put Christian Kirk out on the outside, and that opens up all of those slot routes for Rondale Moore. Christian Kirk last week, 81% of his snaps in the slot. So, I mean, if he has to go play DeAndre Hopkins' role, you have Rondale Moore in the Christian Kirk role, he's an immediate smash.
Yeah, and, I'm trying to figure, it seemed they were able to kind of do whatever they wanted, I guess, against Houston. I'm just trying to figure out, like, still, why are we only getting, Rondale Moore 3 targets? It still seems like a crazy misuse of targets there.
Yeah, I agree with that. They only threw 28 passes, though. They crushed them, and the only guys who got targets were the 4 receivers and Ertz. And so I actually really liked seeing that. It was like, okay, well, maybe we're just down to a little bit more of a concentrated offense. Hopkins had a 9-target game. They only had 28 targets. Like there wasn't a lot else to go around. I didn't really read the 3 targets as that bad, to be honest.
Okay.
It's like, well, he was still running quite a few routes, and he was part of the concentrated offense that was very concentrated. Hopefully we get more, though.
Yeah, and I mean, this game tomorrow against Green Bay, that definitely has some shootout potential to it. I think that could be a pretty nice, another, secondary breakout spot for Rondale Moore tomorrow night.
Would love that.
Let's see. We are going to have Sam Sherman from the Discord. He's going to be joining us in a few minutes. He has been doing a roundup survey for our teams, kind of creating a portfolio of guys that we're targeting on the waiver wire each week, helps kind of come up with the bids that I'm then able to share directly on the show before lock. So very helpful. What situations have caught your guys' eye on waivers this week? I know we've been doing multiple sweeps through our teams over the past few hours.
Well, I think the big one, I mean, there's stuff like all the early week stuff, which wasn't that interesting, right? Because, Miles Sanders goes down, and so the big guys Gainwell. But we have Gainwell in a bunch of our teams, and he's not available on waivers. So then it's Scott. Scott's mildly interesting. But I think Scott's kind of like a Jamal Williams-y type dude. Maybe he gets a couple more goal line carries, but he's not big. So, I mean, I know he got goal line work last week, but it's not like he's got a lock on that necessarily. And then, Ahmed, if he's out there at all. But the more interesting stuff is the Houston stuff, because now we got the Ingram trade. So we're scrambling a little bit. Everyone's going to make up their mind within just like 3-4 hours or whatever. I think that's a more interesting discussion.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to bring Sam in. Sam, welcome to the show. How are you doing, man? Oh, you're muted. We'll give you.
It's got a nice little stash. I'm growing out my stash too, Sam.
Yeah, you got the stash going here. We'll let you get your audio going. Can you hear us now, Sam? Yeah, we still can't hear you.
You got to click on the cam mic on the bottom and fiddle with that.
Cam mic and then audio.
Audio, and go to your mic settings and fiddle with that. You got it. It's probably on the wrong setting.
It's like
cool. Can you guys hear me now?
Oh, there we go. Now we're good. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Uh-oh. We had you there for a second.
No, you can't hear us. Can you hear us? Audio.
A few. We'll let Sam get this figured out. A couple other guys that I feel like people are having decisions on is the kind of the Boston Scott scenario as far as if Miles Sanders misses this week. Kenneth Gainwell obviously owned in most leagues, but what are we doing with Boston Scott here? How do we envision this split?
Well, I kind of talked about it as like a Jamal Williams type role. I mean, the thing that's interesting about him is that he can catch passes, but Gainwell's going to be better at that. And then he showed that he could be used as a goal line guy, but that's not like a huge strength of his. So that's kind of why Williams pops to my mind, because it's like that's kind of true of Williams as well. It's goal line stuff's not a huge strength of his, but he can do it. He can catch passes, but he's worse than the other guy in the backfield at that. I think the split will probably go like a little bit more in Scott's favor than we're seeing in Detroit. I don't think Gainwell's going to get that kind of really juicy receiving plus goal line work role that's made DeAndre Swift a star, but I at the same time have a hard time getting all that excited about Scott. I think he's more kind of a rich man's Jamal Williams, and Gainwell might be a poor man's DeAndre Swift.
Gretch, how do you rank these three guys? Because these three were often the best available running backs in a lot of leagues. Ty Johnson, Boston Scott, and Brandon Bolden. How do you rank those three on the way?
I would go Bolden. I think you got to like Bolden. Probably Ty Johnson second. I mean, I'm not really that into Scott. How long is Sanders out? It sounds like just a couple of weeks, right?
They said he's week to week with a low ankle sprain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Gainwell's the one who played a lot more snaps, a lot more routes. I know Scott got the late TD, but Gainwell's actually been pretty good in the red zone this year. He scored early. I don't know. I think Gainwell's been so explosive that I find it hard to see that Scott's like, I wouldn't really want to start Scott this week until I was like clear on him. Because like the Eagles don't really use their running backs anyway. You know what I mean? Like it's not a great situation. I'm fine starting Gainwell. I'm going to be starting him in some leagues, but I don't love the idea of bidding up for Scott. So he'd be last for me.
Although the Eagles are doing some weird stuff where they're starting to trend toward the run a little bit. They went run heavy last week, which makes sense because the Raiders kind of push teams that way. But they also went really run heavy against the Buccaneers. They're the only team. They went run heavy for them. They still had a positive pass rate over expected, but they're the only team to play the Bucs who had a lower pass rate over expected than their season average. So they shifted to the run against the Buccaneers, which makes no sense. And I wonder if they're kind of just abandoning like the super pass heavy approach that we saw early in the season.
Sam, do we have you now?
Yeah, you guys able to hear me now?
Yeah, now we got you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm good now. Just
All
some
right.
AirPods issues.
Yeah, no. So to explain again, Sam has been, we co-manage a team with Sam. He's active in the Ship Chasing Discord and has been putting together a survey for all of us that co-manage teams. What would you say that process has been like for you this year, Sam? What have you learned other than we apparently have someone in our community who really likes Tyler Bass this week? That's what I learned.
Yeah, the survey was pretty interesting this week with the top pickup coming out as Tyler Bass. Someone was willing to spend 60% fab for him. So that person has still not identified themselves. I really want to know who that is. But
please tell us the waiver survey, please.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time on this, so don't want to get trolled. But yeah, no, it's been cool to sort of get a pulse check from all the co-managers to see where they're thinking on certain guys. Sometimes I come in like really high on someone, and everyone else bids like or says they'll bid less than 1%. So it's definitely cool to gauge opinions of people. At the end of the day, like you gotta make the bids work for your own team. But yeah, it's been interesting to do. For sure.
Yeah, and we are at that point in the year too when we go through our teams. We have some teams where we have $50 fab left, and we have some where we have $600. And the calculations are much different for those scenarios. Our team with Davis, that's pretty dusty right now. We are going pretty hard on defenses because we have to get wins and we have no other choice. So definitely have to be scaling it appropriate to our leagues. What would you say is the most interesting, player situation on the waiver this week, Sam?
Yeah, I think at least for what's available in my leagues, the two situations I think I'm looking at are the Houston and Miami backfield. So I know in our league that we're co-managing, not a single Houston Texans running back is owned in our league. So David Johnson, Burkhead, Phil Lindsay are all available. And we're pretty weak at RB2. So
scroll up.
Do not scroll up, but I think that situation is interesting. I sort of tossed out the thought experiment like
hey.
Wait till 9:59.
Pete, all right, that's a funny bit.
Yeah, this team, we were because I can't go navigate around, but are we still top 500 with this team or close to?
I think we're like around 1,000.
We dropped a little bit. Yeah.
I can check on mine.
Waller, because we had just the insane Waller start where we had that 31-point game, and we thought this team was just going to light the world on fire with that. But luckily we picked up Schultz, who's been nice, and of course, like hitting on Chase, hitting on Swift. Like this team with Lamar still has kind of full on supercharged potential here.
Yeah, and you guys were tilting the Woods over Cup with your Crack Rock team. Do you remember in this draft? We said, let's take Cooper. And then you were about to draft Cooper Kupp. And then me and Pat were like, no, that's the wrong Cooper. Like, take Amari. So we were like,
oh, wow.
5 seconds away.
So we have one of those, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, my kind of whole thing is this summer just trying to get people to take Cooper Kupp and everyone telling me no.
It's on YouTube. You can go check it out.
Yeah, and our bench stashes here, I just laugh because, there's so much hopium here, and yet I can still totally see it, and I don't want to give up on Ramondre, Tyson, Jeffrey Wilson. Like, coming out of the bye, are we being unrealistic that something could change with Tyson? He's by far their best rusher in this backfield.
It reminds me a little bit of Ronald Jones situation where, like, clearly something's going on behind the scenes that they just don't trust the guy. Because you're like, there's just no way, and this is obviously even clearer cut, where like Devontae Freeman, Latavius Murray, like these guys don't have anything left, and they're still playing way ahead of him. And he's shown burst. At one point, he was like first in NFL Next Gen success rate, small sample, but they weed out guys without a big enough sample, and he made the cut. He's played well. It's just I think they just don't trust him because he's like missing pass blocking assignments, and it's like. And to be honest, I kind of think it's the right move. It's like if this guy's going to get Lamar killed, but he's also going to like average a yard more per carry, like that's a bad trade. Like you just put in the guy who's dusty but isn't going to get your quarterback hurt. So
yeah, well, he's averaging at least 2 yards more per carry than both Latavius and.
It's still a bad trade if he's going to.
And it's like 5 yards more per carry than Le'Veon. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
he's at 5.5 yards per carry. I mean, whatever, that's yards per carry. But you have Le'Veon at 2.0. You have Latavius at 3.6. And again, like Baltimore's offense, like just by playing in it, you're at 5.5. Davonte's at 5.5 with Tyson. My thought is, look, we see the rookie post by bump. It's not necessarily, whatever actionable here because he's not a rookie. But I think that it might to Pete's point, like coming out of the bye, now would be the time. They get an extra week with him. They go back, they self-scout a little bit through the bye, and they go, look, we can't put these – like Le'Veon Bell is just dust, right? And then Latavius is pretty close. I think there's
a path. 29. Like, what happened? This guy was the best running back in the league like 4 years ago or whatever, and he's 29.
Yeah. Well, and his entire, strength, even when he was at his peak, was like his patience and his vision. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, if you lose
the patience,
that's all.
Definitely got the patience.
Yeah. I could also be incredibly patient back there waiting. For
I'd be very patient.
I think we could match Le'Veon's yards per carry right now. The Ravens.
That's
would be close.
Professional running back trait that I do have, patience.
So yeah.
And Andrew was asking, this is a good question because we do have a lot of Lance and field teams. Can you guys talk about your QB situations on your Lance teams and how you're handling them? This was like even on one of Pat and I's teams where we had Lance and Fields. I feel like we've been now cycling through some of those lower end QB2s. We have like a lot of Taylor Heineke, Tua. What other guys we have a Darnold, stuff like that.
Tannehill's available in one.
Tannehill.
Like yeah.
So but this was the first week that I finally considered and came to grips with dropping Justin Fields in leagues where we needed a better start.
I'm out on Justin Fields. I mean, they're just not using him right. Like 93% of his rushing yards, which he has, by the way, he's 7th in rushing yards among quarterbacks since taking over as a starter. But he's got 93% of those coming on scrambles. So they're just not using him as a designed rusher at all. Like, at all. It's atrocious. I just don't understand it.
Yeah. Sam, are you holding a candle leaving a candle on for either Fields or Lance this season?
Yeah, I think Lance is a different story because when he started, he at least flashed like the rushing floor and potential upside that I think you could envision a scenario where he does like the Jalen Hurts, 4-game stretch to the end of the year, like that Jalen Hurts did last year, like just rushes for 100 yards a game, like rips off a couple long touchdowns. You can see it. It's just like with Fields, he's not even adding the rushing. So yeah, I'm my best spell shares are praying and keeping a candle lit for him, but in season long, I don't know if you can do it with Fields anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I would like to play like fifth on Justin Fields.
What are you? You're still holding?
No comment.
Yeah.
You're literally muting yourself and giving your take, which is a pretty amazing way to play it.
I wanted to chime in just to say that I'm not chiming in.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Gretch is back up. Gretch is working on some of his other teams right now. Yeah, it's tough because part of it was, we knew that this was part of the gamble. When we drafted teams like Fields and Lance, the gamble was, one of them will start. And what?
Can you pull up Silas's string of comments here? That's one of the funniest audio diaries. No, that's the punchline.
Did anyone hear Sam, or am I going crazy? Yes, we can all now hear each other except Gretch when he mutes himself. But that was. I was just going to say that the thought on that was we always knew it was a gamble that, Lance and Fields might not start. We were hoping that we could, get a start from one of them early and then hopefully have one of them finish the season strong. It's just been a brutal start for both of them. So yeah, I think we're just at the point now where we're moving on from Fields and keeping Lance as the high upside QB2 that could still be a league winner if things come together for him in the fantasy playoffs.
Hey,
if Lance doesn't injure his knee,
Pat,
I mean,
we got 9 minutes. Will you look at the ship stealing team real quick?
Sure.
Neither of us did the thing that we talked about doing. It's just the three of us,
really?
And none of us ever does the things that we talk about doing.
I thought I did it. I think I've been like somehow screwing up some of these bids, or like put them half in and then don't hit save or something. I don't know.
I just tweaked the number you had in one guy based on the conversation with Sean by kind of a lot, and I would probably go even further.
All right. Well, it's not loading for me, so. Do you want to put in the private chat?
I just sent you something in the private chat.
Okay.
One of the bids in here looks pretty crazy to me.
Which one?
We'll adjust it then.
Right in the private chat. We'll definitely adjust any of these.
Look at us. We went from telling you our exact bids to not even revealing the players we're discussing right now. The other let's see here. Let's talk. Well, let's just talk it through. Let's talk through some of the Houston situation stuff with Ingram obviously getting traded to New Orleans. I mean, first of all, for Mark Ingram owners, like, do we think we're getting a value bump there? He was getting a decent amount of work in Houston, but do we like him as the number 2 in New Orleans and on a slightly better offense?
Not a ton. I don't know. I feel like it's sort of lateral, even though it shifts. Like, he's going to have way less work, but more touchdown equity probably. But, like, all in all, I feel like I guess it's a good thing in the sense that, like, if Kamara were to get hurt, then all of a sudden Ingram has a ton of upside, and he doesn't have that path in Houston. So, yeah, it's probably good for him overall.
Yeah. And then, Sam, how are you feeling about the Lindsey, Johnson, whatever remains in that backfield?
Yeah, I don't have super strong takes on it. My thought is that David Johnson has like a couple of games this year with like 5-6 targets, and if the Texans are just getting crushed every game, but Tyrod is competent and throwing the ball around a little bit, maybe Johnson can get there on 4 or 5 catches a game and like get some goal line work. I think I would lean Johnson just for those targets. Like, we want the pass catching running back on a team that's going to be behind. We don't want the 2-down grinder, which I think is going to be Lindsey. So I'd lean Johnson, but I'm not very excited about either guy, really.
My only counter, or how I would think about it, is just I feel like we know what David Johnson is, and I don't think his role is going to change too much, where I feel like Philip Lindsay could just straight inherit all of the Mark Ingram work, and some of, what he was getting was like 4 or 5 other carries a game. So, and I mean, Philip Lindsay just has way more juice right now as a rusher than David Johnson does.
Totally agree with that. I think he could be fairly interesting even with like 10 or 12 rushes and a couple catches a game. The thing is like, what's the payoff? And if it's Johnson even if they split the rushing work, because to Sam's point, Johnson's getting like 5 targets a game, like pretty quick, Johnson can become a stud. He'll probably get the goal line work too. I mean, they might split that, but Ingram's been getting the goal line work. There's potential here for Johnson to have like a legit, like high value touch role where he's catching 4 balls a game. They're not scoring a lot of running back touchdowns or even getting any green zone touches at all. But if he has all of it, you can start him on a 0 running back team pretty easily. I don't think David Johnson's good at all, but that would be a workload worth playing.
I guess the real question too is, does this condense into a 2-man backfield, or are we going to start to see some Rex Burkhead or Scotty Phillips as that third running back, and then it's just a mess again?
I mean, it certainly could. It definitely could. But man, I guess I was very skeptical of that when the question was, will Mark Ingram have a role? So I've been wrong on this already once, but man, it strikes me as really weird if they are giving Rex Burkhead a ton of run.
Yeah, I'm just a little worried about that, but I do think that it's interesting here, and also just the fact that tell me if I'm wrong, but at least earlier in the season, like, they were fully committing to Mark Ingram, even in some game scripts where they were down. I mean, it seems like there's a lot to like here for Lindsey, even if they're down, 10 points, which they are a lot.
Yeah. My recollection with Ingram is that it sort of looked like they were committing to him more early, but that was just a product of them being in that positive game script against the Jaguars. I think his snaps have been relatively consistent across weeks. It's just that they had that one positive game script, so he got a bunch of carries. But I don't know. Just looking at snaps now, he was only at 46% snaps in week 1. He was at 44% week 6, 38% week 7. So I don't know. Yeah, talking Ingram, like his role has been kind of steady. It's just a product of game script, sort of, is why it looks like so skewed to week 1.
But that's like, if that primarily goes to Lindsey, then I'm pretty interested in Lindsey, right? Because I kind of fall on Pete's side here, where it's like I think Lindsey will inherit most of those snaps, although we certainly don't know that.
What did the other kind of interesting backfield thinning out too with Malcolm Brown going to IR? Do you guys have any takes on, Gaskin's still the lead back there, but are we getting more interested in Ahmed now with Malcolm Brown out of the picture?
I think Ahmed can play. One of the guys that I've always been like, and someone like tweeted this out from a Twitter thread, DM thread from one of the listener leagues last year, where we were talking about Dearness Johnson last year. And so I have very rare, I don't have a ton of film takes, but I guess my 2 would be Dearness Johnson, I thought could play last year, and Salvon Ahmed, I maintain is good. I know he's not doesn't have great measurables or whatever, but every time I see him play, I'm like, damn, they should play this guy more. So I hope that he gets some more run, but obviously
Ahmed has good
I think Ahmed's
measurables.
Good. Not great.
I thought he was like a 5-star. I mean, he went to UW. I thought he was like a 5-star out of high school. Maybe he wasn't as great coming out of college, but he when he came in, he was an athlete recruit, and people were stoked. He was like this elite athlete out of high school.
Anyway, I mean, I think that Gaskin's gonna be a lot more valuable because he has that receiving role locked down, probably. But wait, so Pete, I do want to say before you say anything, Vincent had a suggestion here in the chat, and I want to pitch this to you. You can give our exact bid away on a player as long as you don't say which player it is.
256.
I changed that. I moved it down because you told me to.
206. 206. 56. 2. 1.
No, stop giving them all away. It's just a big one.
Hey, you didn't qualify.
I actually like it better. I like that you just give away all of our bids, but you don't say who.
In Chasing Stolen Bananas, we have 2 bid groups with $40 on the same player. This is so cathartic for me.
I like this. Works out. This doesn't stress me out, and you seem happy. So I think we found a good middle ground,
guys. The 206 is David Johnson.
Pat knocked something off the table.
What just happened?
Brittany just knocked over something. I don't know what it was.
Brittany knocked something over? It sounded like it was you.
Wasn't that plant in the background?
Jeez,
yeah, this plant is
in
a flytrap or something. It's a pretty crazy plant.
Price is going
207
up.
On DJ.
No, we were going back and forth on the David Johnson versus Philip Lindsay bid, where Philip Lindsay was available in far more leagues than David Johnson for us, but in this specific ship stealing league, David Johnson was also available.
And Pete, you wanted Lindsay. I think Pat and I were both somewhat indifferent earlier. I think I was leaning more David Johnson, but then I saw Sean seemed to be more on David Johnson, that
shocks me. I mean,
it shocked me too.
I know Sean's historically loved David Johnson, but he also loves Philip Lindsay.
Loves Philip Lindsay, and he's been picking him up on all of our rosters all year this year. And it's like, okay, well now it's time, and he doesn't want him.
It's true, Joe. I was full of angst all stream. I'm being censored by people. I've been getting threatening messages. Every time I look outside my window, there's men in dark suits walking by. I have to be careful what I say these days.
I think those are just commuters, man.
So fast.
I do want to say there was a comment up here about Dune. It said AKA spice chasing, and I just thought that was pretty funny.
You want to explain the
Have you guys not seen Dune?
I've seen Dune, but I don't even get it.
I haven't
Spice.
seen
The whole thing's about spice.
That's it. That's just the reference. Is that it's
AKA spice chasing? Yeah, that is
Dune.
reference.
So I'm supposed to get excited to watch Dune, and it's about spice.
Well,
spice is what they call this psychoactive chemical that also creates time travel, space jumping, or something. They haven't gotten to that part yet, but it's pretty good. It's a good movie.
It's the most valuable resource in the universe.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's very valuable, but it also gets you like super baked.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty chill,
So,
dude.
Yeah.
I always thought free agent acquisition budget was the most valuable resource in the world.
Yeah. Well, if it's the most valuable resource, you give it away every week.
No,
So you're the most generous man I know.
I am. I give the people what they want. They want the exact bids each week, guys. This is the reality we live in. By week 14, you won't get anything because I'll be fully censored. What other? I would say the only other kind of situation that we had, Robert Tonyan was available in a few of our leagues, which was weird, but we didn't have a lot of money in the leagues where we were trying to go after him.
I like this. You can get Spice 20% off. Just mention Crack Rock.
All right. I guess I do have to watch Dune here.
Yeah, you would like to, I think. It's good.
Are there?
It was good, but also like it left me wanting.
Well, that's the whole point of the movie. The whole movie is literally just, and I've never read Dune. I don't know exactly where it's going, but the movie, the whole point of it is just for you to like go into the second movie that comes out in like 2 years from now, and be like, I'm psyched. That's the entire purpose of the first movie.
Right. So Pete, my advice would be wait 2 years, watch Dune Part 1 when Dune Part 2's out.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
I mean, I'm not getting excited about Dune based on everything I'm hearing, all this spice shit, and wait 2 years to get excited about it. I mean, this is the worst sell job on a movie I've ever heard.
See, this is Pete's contrarian GPP player. You know, he's just going against the crowd.
No, I'm just like I'm not a
Universally
Dune type
loved.
of guy, man. I just am not. All right, you guys can have your Dune. I'm still working my way through Squid Game.
Are you?
I thought.
Are you enjoying it? Where are you at?
I think I'm like, actually only 3 episodes. 3 episodes in. Are you guys all done with it?
Yeah.
I finished it. Yeah.
Do you guys just? No one has to work around here. You guys just get to sit around and watch Netflix.
It's been out for like a month.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Some of us are busy. Okay.
It's like 10. It's what is it? 10 episodes? 8 episodes?
Yeah, they're like 45 minutes or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I still haven't even finished Ted Lasso yet. Still working through that. Hi guys, I got lots of kids. I got lots of jobs.
Once my kids go to bed. Well, the thing is, you actually like work out and stuff. See, I'm sitting down and watching TV.
This guy goes to the sauna during football, so I'm pretty sure he could squeeze in Squid Game, guys.
Good point.
Maybe I will stop listening to Red Zone audio and listen to Squid Game audio, and that I can brush up on my Korean while I'm in the sauna.
If you listen to Squid Game audio in Korean while in the sauna without a video, you've just completely lost your mind.
That's called culture, Pat.
It is not.
I went to the sauna today. Thank you very much. Ever since the haters came out about my sauna, I've really leaned into it. I'm going to the sauna like 5 times a week now.
Is that even good for you?
Yeah, don't even. Do you want me to start sending you peer-reviewed journals about sauna benefits? How it affects
Is
positively?
it healthier than going to the steam room? I've always been a steam room guy over sauna.
It is better than the steam room, and the steam room is so gross when you think about it, man. Just really think about it.
What are the health benefits of the sauna?
There's longevity benefits. Ask the people in Scandinavia, Pat. Why do they live so long? Why are they so beautiful?
Well, I mean, they have
because
great
of the sauna.
diets. That's probably part of it.
I can't believe you guys are trying to FUD the sauna on me.
I'm trying to FUD
It legitimately
You're
does have good health benefits.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to try to twist your arm.
TikToks, joking.
Yes, thank you for appreciating my sauna thumbnail last week. I spent
Can I comment on something I have no business commenting on?
Yeah.
The crypto and NFT space has this FUD term. I don't know a whole lot about it because I don't know a whole lot about this space. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt, right? Like anytime, like no one's saying fear, uncertainty, or doubt about the sauna. They're just saying it's stupid right now. That's not funny.
That's literally doubt. Pat is fucking fudding the shit out of my sauna practice. He's doubting it.
No, he's just saying it's dumb.
No, he's doubting it. Yeah, FUD
Okay.
also can stand for fear, uncertainty, and dumb.
That would be-
I just feel like FUD is taking on a life of its own, personally.
Yeah, no, you just say FUD whenever you don't like what the other person's saying.
Yeah,
That's how it
FUD,
goes.
It's a good
FUD,
counter.
FUD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was giving Dune FUD, and Pat was giving Sauna FUD.
Yeah. You're a no dooner and I'm a no sauner.
All right. Should we see if any of these bids cleared? Have I started to get the DMs? Oh no. Oh my god. Look at what the cat drug in. Oh no.
Can't wait to see how blurry Josh's screenshot is this time.
Let's let the boomer try to get his camera up in real time here.
God.
Crack.
Oh shit! Is the fucking camera not working?
See, you don't need the camera for spaces, so you got to set this up for us.
Oh my
What
god.
the fuck, dude? Dude,
What's going on, Crack?
This is like Chris
Did I
Collinsworth
do it right?
sliding. Is Crack Rock coming in with a what the fuck about his camera?
dude,
Crack Rock, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, but I obviously I'm fucking pitch black here.
Are you in a dark room right now or what?
What I do wrong? Camera, mic, settings, front camera.
Are you on the iPad again?
No, I'm on my phone. Did I? Do I? Oh, boomer!
That's
man.
correct. I mean, if you
You should be fine, Crack Rock.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in on my phone right now and see if I can give you tech support here.
Oh, what's? Oh, I got the egg now from like Twitter.
I think
Well,
that
they
means
say
your
fingers
camera was
usually when your
on
camera's
before.
off.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard for you, Crack Rock?
I don't know, man.
Should we just get two of everyone in the stream?
Yeah, I'm literally pulling mine up.
All right, we got some of the bids coming in here, so I'm gonna pull this up while Crack Rock does his own tech support here.
Oh, we got Kirk Cousins. There we go.
Let's go. All right, this is Ship Chasing Crew here. We did get Philip Lindsay at 221. Dude, the Tyler Bass love was not a joke. $60 in this league here.
Wow.
Tunyon does go for 255. Jamal Agnew 22. Ew. Brandon Bolden to us at 15 doesn't seem bad.
That's great.
No, I like that.
Anything else sticking out to you guys here?
That's my favorite buy right there. Brandon Bolden for 15. I mean, whew, I love
Yeah.
it.
That's pretty nice. Yeah.
Slayton for $2 is good.
Yeah.
This is so frustrating. Now I gotta get my fucking iPad. What's going on with the fucking iPhone? It says the fucking the camera's working. The front.
Well,
camera's
that's a good
working.
point because Pete, you're not using an iPhone, so I should check on mine to make sure that.
No, yeah,
that
I
works
do
on mine.
use the superior device, which seems to work
Yeah.
flawlessly with StreamYard.
I can't even
Here,
guess
I'll,
what it is because I don't know of any other phones.
I'll just check to see if
Yeah,
this
no,
works here.
this is just. I'm gonna have to go.
Is
to
it
my
an Android,
iPad
Pete?
now.
Do I have an Android? Yes, proudly.
Okay, is that the other competing phone?
I mean, it's the phone. iPhone tries to compete with it. So you guys send me other cat Corinne. Send me other bid groups here.
Yeah, I'm looking to pull ours up now.
Okay.
No, this is working on.
I think it might just be Crack Rock at this point.
Oh, my FFPC app is now not working. So
Interesting to see Cincy defense, who I know Paulson had him as their number one defensive play this week against the Jets, going for 44 here. Probably not going to get him in our leagues where I'd put him in for like $14. Randall Cobb in a spot start on Thursday night without all those guys. I saw him popping up, but we had no room for him on our rosters. There he is.
All right.
We
There
seen
he
him?
is.
what's up,
Yeah.
Crack Rock?
You did it.
Can I boom? Oh, that's full boomer out there.
I mean, we'll take it. I mean, there.
I think full boomer is actually changing from landscape to portrait and then back.
Oh no!
And then back to black.
And then the camera break. That was a boomer hat trick right there.
That was impressive.
You had it, Crack Rock. Okay, don't scare us like that. All right, Crack Rock. We are reviewing.
Private disc, $4.99. Do I got to?
No, I already manually put you
Okay.
in there, Crack Rock. Relax. Okay, this is a blurry screenshot from Silas here. We have CJ Uzoma 150, MVS 129, Lindsay here to the Ship Chasers 127, P Ryan 117. It looks like we might be kind of higher than industry on Philip Lindsay. We seem to be getting him a bunch. Boston Scott only goes for $4 here.
Wow.
Oh, that's a bargain.
Huh.
I do wonder because there was no
I got the ship stealing results. We did get David Johnson for 206. I put a second bid in for Lindsay at 56. Pat originally had Lindsay in at 256. And so we got both for 262.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I
That's
like
awesome.
that.
Anytime you can corner the market on Texans RBs, you got to do it.
Who did Cocktails and Dreams pick up there?
Cocktails,
Slayton and Njoku.
and Denver defense.
Yeah, Slayton's
All right. That's Slayton. That's interesting.
Here is our league with Sam. Sam just said, so we did miss out. So someone double dipped here. Wow.
345 for both.
For both. Whew.
Mickey.
All right, that
Mouse.
makes me feel a little bit better that, you know.
That's aggressive.
Yeah.
That's just gross, man. $700 on
But
two Texans.
guys, that adds up to $690. So let's just.
You think it was a
Give him some credit.
69, cut it in half, and one both.
It is crazy to see the difference like that. Boston Scott for 5, and then here he goes for 75. Pretty big spread on some of these guys.
Yeah, I feel like
I like the Ahmed here that we got for 11. That seems real nice.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, the Ahmed is the steal this week. He's the free guy you need to get.
Would you
I
say
agree with that.
Ahmed is part of your master class on the art of the handcuff, Crack Rock?
Is he a true handcuff?
It is, but I don't know where the came from. I mean, is that part of the your bar mitzvah there? That the
Don't get
Ahmed
yourself
comes-
canceled here, Crack Rock. That's the correct pronunciation.
No,
of
it's
his
actually
name.
not. Crack Rock is absolutely right. It's Ahmed, and everyone says Ahmed. It is Ahmed.
I've
He
literally
went to
asked
college. That was a
I've
big deal
literally
for
asked
you.
Patrick
Yeah.
Laird.
You learned
Yeah,
it from
he's-
Patrick Laird?
Yes, I asked Laird. Davis and I asked him, we're like, we'd say this name on shows. Can you please tell us how to pronounce his last name?
Dude, the entire University of Washington community gets pissed if you call him Ahmed.
Really? All right, we have an old-fashioned
All
stand-up.
right, we need
Wow,
Did you guys see the CJ Uzama video?
No, is it a
He
pronunciation?
put out a video saying how to pronounce his name. It's CJ Uzama.
Uzama instead of Uzoma.
It's a funny video, but we need one of those from Ahmed now.
Okay.
Mhm.
What about our team? What do we do?
Send me a screenshot, Crack Rock. Can you finagle that?
I can't believe you heard that from Laird, man. That's very interesting.
Two
Blowing my
University of
mind.
Washington players on the same team, Gaskin and Ahmed.
Yeah.
Or Ahmed.
Let's see what we got, Crack Rock, on our team. I'll pull it up.
And who cut Dalton Schultz? I want answers.
Wait,
Yeah, that's wild.
Wow.
We had
someone
him for a
cut-
week. We had him for a week, and then we cut him.
And then
Is that my
someone else
boy?
cut him?
No, we
He's
cut
talking
him.
about back in week 1.
Oh,
Pat, remember you were stoked about getting Dalton Schultz after week
Yep.
1?
so we
Why,
got.
I
how do we-
wondered
how
that
do
the
we
other
cut
day
him?
too. Why don't we have him on this team anymore?
I don't know.
We
I
gotta
don't-
blame the interns, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that oh, Jones? Oh, we got Penny.
we got Lindsay too. Yeah.
And then we went with is
The
that
Lindsay bid there was only like $50 as well.
Yeah, Lindsay.
oh
Lindsay being
Hasty
cheap.
Hasty I like. Oh, and then we're still holding on to Tyson.
So it looks like we were asked who we wanted to cut, and we didn't say not Schultz, so Schultz was cut.
Ouch.
This week, Schultz was cut for you guys?
No,
we did.
Okay.
Nah, I mean
Gotcha.
we gotta move forward. I mean, if we're doing this, then we can talk about Cooper Kupp. But you know,
just think. I mean, would we be number one with Cooper Kupp? Do we have someone? I'm gonna have to ask Tamu to redo those numbers if we put Kupp in there.
Oh man,
I think we'd have the number one team in the league, but just going on back-to-back years, we're still cranking it. You know, we're doing well in points, and unfortunately, Lockett now is kind of shit. But we have we're 4-3. How are we doing in points? Yeah,
points
we're
are
right
solid.
there. Yeah. All right, so we're looking pretty good there. And then we got through the bye week with a W, and now Allen comes back all rested up. If we get this Allen Diggs going, we should be able to make – we're not in the playoffs right now. How are we not in the playoffs?
Allen Diggs explosion spot this week against Miami. I'm very excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then with Tyreek – I think we're going to be just fine.
Yeah. This is
and Javonte has been great. And then the best thing was Zach Moss. If we get some Zach Moss, like a couple TDs out of him from Josh Allen, we have that stack now. That would be nice to fill in if we can get Javonte and Zach Moss going.
And the week that we lost Schultz was for Zach Moss, so it was a
okay.
Ad, so
That's not.
No,
yeah,
I think that our team is fucking solid. If we can get Fantha's been backed up, but that Cooper Kupp is just haunting me because you don't even know how many shares of Bobby Trees I have, and all those Bobby Trees could have been Cooper Kupps. I made the point of that when someone drafted Bobby Trees, Cooper Kupp was instantly triggered and would go in the next couple rounds. But the good thing is, at least Bobby Trees is not Allen Robinson.
Yeah, it's you did it for your brand. You you had a dispensary. You had to do Bobby Trees. We get it.
And meanwhile, fuck the brand. I want the $500K.
That is better for the brand if you win $500K.
Yeah, the $500K that can buy us a lot of weed and also pay for our trip to Monte Carlo.
That's true.
Which is on the docket if we can get that in. But I still think right now we need Gordon to go down and Kupp to go down, right? Basically,
that's all we don't room for injuries. Room for Jesus.
Yeah, that's how you got to do it, man. You got to root for. I mean, Javonte looks so good. I don't even know why Gordon is on the field.
He's so good. He's so much better than Gordon.
And when are they going to start double teaming Kupp? I mean, when I saw that touchdown, and then all we get is like the cheat and screw 2-point conversion afterwards. It was like sloppy seconds. It's so insulting.
Yeah, the Kupp thing is insane. Doesn't he have like the most fantasy points for the first like 7 games of the year, like of all time? Or I saw something
of all
like
time,
that. Like,
and then Randy Moss is second or something like that.
It's nuts.
Yeah, he's on pace for like 2,000 yards and 60 receptions. Hey, defenses, let's maybe put another guy on Kupp to open up Bobby Trees for us. When are they going to start doing that?
So we're rooting you want Cooper Kupp injury or for him to get double teamed, but you're saying something needs to change quickly.
I like this question. Does this qualify as Kupp FUD?
This is definitely Kupp FUD. We are fudding the shit out of Cooper Kupp these days.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's both like hype and FUD though.
Yeah.
I
Well,
just
no,
He
have
needs to get double teamed.
no, it's what happens when you miss an NFT mint that's going, you miss the mint, you got to FUD it. We missed Cooper Kupp, so now we got to FUD it, So
Right,
that's
right.
just how it goes.
But
Like,
you're not spreading fear. You're afraid of it.
oh, I'm terrified. Yes.
I think he's fighting us.
Cooper's
no,
FUDing us?
and I
Cooper is fudding us. That's true. He's fudding our team.
He's fighting the shit out of us.
that is a good point. The only good thing is I do have a lot of Cordell Patterson, thanks to that.
Nice.
When Davis tweeted out that I still love that one image that it was Cordell Patterson all along, and no one just wanted to take him. But I got like 15 shares of him that first week.
Nice.
Wow.
So he's been a stud. And
you
then I
know
got
that-
a lot of DJ.
Did you know that Davis is Eskimo brothers with Cordell Patterson?
Come on.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
That's how the
is that
story goes.
Come on.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
That's been true since he was a prospect.
Yeah.
Wow.
They went to the
Since
same
Davis
Okay.
school.
prospect.
Wow. Have
Yeah.
to factor that into our models going forward. Put that as a variable.
Well, that was Cordell. He went to University of Tennessee, isn't that correct?
I think, yeah, but Davis overlapped with him at a JUCO, I think, before, and then he transferred, I want to say. Or
Okay.
I
Yeah,
believe
no, because I remember how good he was returning kicks.
yeah.
In college, he was just phenomenal, and now I still just can't figure out why or how he's so good in Atlanta. It's just that Atlanta team.
He's
is
always
just
been incredible
bizarre.
with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, I mean, let's ask the question of like how no one else has figured this out except Belichick dabbled with it, but like no one else played him at running back for all these years.
Well,
Yeah.
it kind of reminds me of Ty Montgomery when he was so good at returning
That's a good
kicks,
comp.
and then they tried to put him in that Green Bay role a couple years ago, but he just didn't produce. But Cordell has just come in and just thriving, and Mike Davis just looks horrible. And Pitts is coming on now also. Pitts seems like finally to come on and be a world beater at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Pitts looked absolutely awesome
Yeah.
on Sunday. I mean, are you guys thinking we can see, like this as a typical performance for him, or do you think that's still on the upper range of what's going to be possible for him week in and week out?
I think it's on the upper range in the sense that was a good setup for the passing offense, and then it all went through him and not so much Ridley. And like Ridley's still really good. So, Pitts right now has a 2.28 yards per out run. Ridley's at 1.43. That's not going to hold. Ridley's gonna move up. Pitts will move down. But I still think Pitts. I mean, if Pitts finishes with in the 1.98, 2.1 range, like that's an elite tight end mark. So he can move down and still be awesome.
Yeah, and he doesn't play tight end. I mean, he's out wide. He's in basically playing the Waller role in Atlanta, and because Hurst is on the field and he plays tight end. So I don't know how he even is considered a tight end, but he is clearly a wide receiver in that Waller role. And damn,
I
he
got a
looks
trivia
good.
question. I was looking this up the other day using the Rotoviz screener. So since 2000, but that's most of tight end history, to be honest. How many tight ends had more receiving yards in their rookie seasons? We know rookies historically not a lot of receiving yards. How many rookie tight ends have more receiving yards in their entire rookie season than Kyle Pitts has had in his first 6 games of his career?
0.
It's not 0.
And there's only going to be a couple. I mean,
It's been 6 games. You think he's that high already? I thought this was a great trivia. What's that?
Well, so what we're talking like
but it's got to be a rookie tight end.
22
though.
seasons.
Yes.
So like how many rookie tight ends are going to do it in a
Tony
year?
Gonzalez,
Probably.
Antonio Gates.
Their whole season, though. We're not comparing it to the first 6 games. Their whole
okay.
season.
Oh,
Where does
okay.
he rank on the all-time rookie receiving yards list if he doesn't play another game?
Oh, okay, I got it wrong.
I'll say there's 20 guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like 15.
Yeah, there's 12. He's tied for 13th already.
Wow.
Wow.
I think Chris Herndon's one of them, right?
He might be. He's 130 yards away from being, I think it's third or fourth. Like if he has another 100-yard game next week, through 7 games, he's going to be top 5 since 2000, potentially all time. I don't know that there's a whole lot of rookie tight ends that were good before 2000.
Mike Ditka, I've seen some stats comparing him to him, but yeah.
I was like, even Gronk, is he ahead of where Gronk was already?
He might be. Gronk was all touchdowns.
Gronk was all touchdowns his rookie year.
Yeah, I would probably ahead of Gronk though.
Maybe Tony G is the only one I can think of. I don't know how good he was to start out. It just shows you how hard it is to break into the league as a tight end. It's it's virtually impossible. But again, he's just not a true tight end. He's a wide receiver, and that's why I love him. Just like Waller is. When you see Kittle in there in the trenches, and this is the thing that bothers me. He gets hurt all the time because he's in there blocking all the time. It's just not good for your tight end to be blocking. These hybrid tight ends that don't even play the tight end position like Pitts are rare.
We're seeing that with Gesicki. Gesicki too is
exactly. Gesicki has turned it around because they realize that why play him at tight end? These guys do not need to be. I don't know why they don't do it with Evan Ingram as well.
Why are you going with Gesicki when Gestinky is right there?
Yeah, right. I just did it because
Gestinky.
I think Gesicki rolls off the tongue.
Gesicki's way better. It's Gesicki. He's changing it just slightly.
Yeah, Sicky to Sucky. Yeah, it's Sicky to Sucky.
Why isn't it Gapoopy? I mean,
Gapoopy. Garbage.
In my head, it was Gestinky, not Gestinky. I didn't realize I was adding 2 different letters. I ruined it.
A lot of controversy over Miami Dolphins namings tonight.
Yeah, right. It is, but I really think our team is coming on now. I think Javonte is going to get more and more touches. And I think Moss is going to get more and more touches also. It's weird because he's like involved in the passing game. He comes in almost as like the third down back now. But maybe we can find some other hidden zero RB because hopefully Wilson comes back because Lockett has turned what happened? He turned invisible. Geno Smith, what is going on over there? I saw Jeffrey Swan
the crap out of the ball.
His targets were still okay. He was in the air yards by low model. Like, was he? He must be still just not converting, right?
I'll pull it up.
I didn't watch it. It looked like every time I saw the ball, it was Swain, and it wasn't Lockett. It was just really sad.
I think Geno had like 12 completions or something really gross too. So
he's just so bad. It's just painful to watch and just see. The same thing with Fields and Allen Robinson. Fields has just been awful. All the rookie quarterbacks have been awful. Lance, it's just so hard to get it done. And so many people put so much draft capital into Trey Lance, and he's just nowhere. And now I don't even know what's going on with Jalen Hurts. Now they're talking about bringing in Minshew. What is that? Is that even true? There's just some teams you don't want any part of. I don't want any Texans. I don't want any Jets. There's some teams that are just so goddamn awful, and you just want Cowboys.
What's your other? What are your best teams this year, Croc Rock in the main?
Yeah, I have one main that's pretty solid, but I need CMC to come back. So that's the biggest thing. Chubb has been doing yeoman's work, but CMC needs to come back. And then the other one is I have Derrick Henry, and I have a lot of Mike Evans. So Mike Evans has been treating me right. That was a good pick. Thielen was a good pick. The perfect draft right now is obviously Derrick Henry in the first round, wherever you got him, and then that second round is if you got a Najee or even if you lucked out with Mixon, and then you just got your Cup, and then your Evans and your Mike Williams and your Thielen and your Jamar Chase. I did get a lot of Jamar Chase, so he's been carrying me. At RT, I have some really good teams where I have just a ton of wide receivers, but I need CMC back. That's a big deal. I don't know if you got any inside info on CMC, but he needs to come back.
Timo was telling me about one of your teams in Football Guys, top 100. Pretty nice team.
Yeah, no, I have again, I have a nice 0 RB team that I did, and I hit with, because I have Fournette and James Robinson on a 0 RB team. So I literally hit the two. I mean, who were the two top 0 RB running backs right now? It's got to be Fournette, right? I mean, Fournette has to be
number one. Yeah.
Did Fournette go before we took Ronald Jones? I think he did.
He usually did.
Yeah, Fournette was going like a round and a half before Rojo.
Before Rojo. So if we can get an injury to Fournette, that would just take our team, huge. So we're a couple injuries away from getting someone back, but James Robinson as well was, I think, because I went 0 RB. I went Hill, Ridley, Evans, and I got Keenan Allen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So then I went James Robinson in the 5th, and then I lucked out with Fournette, and I even got Laviscus in that one, and James Conner. So, I mean, right now the best 0 RBs besides Fournette, James Robinson, Connor. I mean, who else?
Elijah
has been okay, I guess.
Yeah, Elijah Mitchell's been the big guy.
Yeah.
But Elijah Mitchell wasn't drafted, though, right? So from a draft, from a possible, what 0 RBs were drafted that really came into the fold?
Well, Henderson is who we were drafting
in
the 11th round.
Part of the thing with 0 RB, we talked about this on today's episode of Stealing Bananas a little bit, but Sean was harping on this quite a bit with the D'Ernest Johnson game last week, was that you have these spot starts that you're going to start the guy. If you get him, you have to pick him up. But if you get him, you're putting him in your lineup. And then the work is going to be there. It's not like receiver or other positions. And then he has a monster game. Yes, D'Ernest Johnson doesn't come to our mind right now as this 0 RB champion, but you think about your running back spots over the course of a season, getting that 27-point game or whatever he had that week. It's huge. Even if you're playing, Tony Pollard every other week or whatever, it's a living, breathing roster position for your team for the season. You don't necessarily have to fill it with one Elijah Mitchell or whatever. There's been several guys. The drafted ones, Alexander Madison immediately comes to mind. We started him multiple times. Oh, yeah. With Dalvin Cook out, had great games, right? We didn't in our team, but anyone who has drafted him, I have him in several leagues where I was playing him. Pollard doesn't really come to mind. Zach Moss has had some splash games. People are starting him. I don't know other ones necessarily that came to mind immediately.
Well, we spot started D'Ernest Johnson last week. A huge win. No,
that's Gretsch's
Darrell
right.
Williams.
That's
Darrell Williams.
Darrell Williams. And I did have a lot of Darrell Williams, but I did cut some of him. But again, when you get that 27 spot, you're literally, you're lapping everyone else in the league. It's that 27 points that no one else is getting and is only going to you, and that just literally pushes you up in that particular league. So that's why Herbert is another example.
Yeah, Chuba Hubbard has been good.
Yeah.
James Conner, totally different way. And Tony Pollard, I would argue, too. They're guys that have been productive pretty consistently every week. That's more like the Zach Moss point I kind of made. When you've played them, they've at least gotten you some solid points. And then if you've been able to sprinkle in some D'Ernest Johnson or whatever, Now you're like getting a 10-point base and you're getting some 25-point spike weeks. It looks just like you used a 3rd-round pick on a running back.
Yeah, I've got McKissick in a couple leagues too, and he's been similar, like pretty solid floor and a couple spike weeks. I think he's like top 24 or something. I mean, he's not amazing, but you get by.
something clearly is wrong with Gibson. That shin injury he's not right. There's just no doubt about it. Otherwise, they'd be feeding him the ball. It seems like TJ Hawkinson, something's not right with him also. He's been kind of silent.
Well, he's questionable every week too. What's the injury with him?
Yeah, he definitely has something wrong with him. He just doesn't look right on the field. Whereas DeAndre Swift has just been it's amazing how all the people that said he was going to suck and then he's great, preseason. Everyone, Jamar Chase can't catch a ball. He's the best wide receiver. Joe Burrow is the worst. He's never coming back from that ACL, and he's balling. So the contrary indicator of preseason Twitter is something that
the Jamar Chase thing was the biggest gift of all time,
man.
I mean,
that was so easy at the time. Like, that was so easy to just be like, this is the dumbest draft Chase, just hammer Chase. I didn't have much Chase because I thought he was kind of expensive.
Yeah.
You had to take him in like the late 4th.
But then he got cheap.
Then he got cheap, so I just had
gift.
so much Chase for like the last 2-3 weeks of the season or the preseason. I mean,
right?
Truly,
he was going in like the 7th round. I remember I have one team on RT. I'll tweet it out that it's a CMC team because I had the first pick. But I have like 6. I got like Jamar Chase on that turn at like 7-8, and it's proven to be. Right now out of got 85 teams, I got at least, maybe like 57% in the playoffs right now. And that's just all from scooping value and not drafting quarterbacks early.
This was the team Pat and I drafted in Vegas where we had Jamar Chase fall to, was it like 6?
The late
10?
6th.
It was 6'10" because I
we
think
were out of the 603.
That's nuts.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I
604.
got him with my CMC team because he actually fell to, I guess it must have been 612. So it must have been.
Yeah, this was 6'10".
6'10".
Yeah, so
we
he
were at
was
the 10. Yeah.
Yeah, we got him on our team at like 5'10" or something. And I remember at that point thinking it was just such a drop.
Poor Russell Wilson. Damn.
Well, you want to hear the other one? The biggest one is we were debating. This was
CH.
right when Eckler had the hamstring stuff and was sliding, and we passed.
Because he was falling. So you had him in the
He was falling. We took
late...
CEH.
Yep.
We were like, let's get a guy. We're going to do a one elite running back build. Let's get a guy who we know is healthy. We didn't know what the injury was going to be for Eckler, if he's going to miss the game, etc.
Oh, so you got CEH in like late 2nd round, early 3rd?
3-3.
Early 3rd. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt like value on him.
Eckler was there
in the 3rd. Yeah.
This was like the day that like the injury
report team's a smash if we take
came out and it was like, he can miss a few weeks and all this.
Oh, right. I got you.
Brutal.
Oh, wow. That team would have been
that one stings.
Yeah, these wide receivers are insane.
I just saw something about Ty Johnson.
It's still top 1,000 right now.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you have Higgins and Claypool on the bench too.
Yeah, we can't even.
And look at Schultz.
You got Goddard and Schultz. Jesus,
Wow.
This team is good.
If you could make trades in the main event, this team would be unreal.
Can you imagine if there were trades, the kind of tomfoolery you would see? Oh my god.
No, but
this team was pretty close.
Yes, all right. This team needs Lindsey. All right.
Yeah, so Eckler would have obviously put this team over the top, and then DK Hill, and then Debo and Chase. Oof! Wow, that's impressive. Yeah. That's impressive. So it just shows you that last week was the value was just there, and the sharp drafters just weren't showing up. Those last couple of weeks were the best actually weeks to draft because people were falling left and right.
Yeah, and I think that is the hard thing. Like we were saying, our early drafts, we were getting Henderson on a bunch of ours, while Jamar Chase was going in, the late fourth in those, and then come, main event time in Vegas, you're not getting, you're having to pay a fourth round or whatever for Henderson, but you can get a deal on a Chase or something like that. So I feel like we wrestle with it every year of when is optimal, and there's certainly pros and cons to both. I think the thing for the way our teams are built this week is much thinner for buys, obviously, just the Ravens and Raiders. But then we're going to have this stretch week 9, week 10, week 13 as well, where, our wide receiver firepower really coming in, where we're starting 4 top 20 wide receivers every week on most of our teams. So this will be a good stretch for us.
Yeah.
This is where we make our money right now.
Yeah, and the rankings, they mean nothing. You don't get any money if you finish, 10th. I mean, I'm sure they give you some nominal amount for finishing the regular season at number 1, but then you just get the average for the week and you reset going into the playoffs. So, it doesn't bother me if, I'm not some highly ranked team that's like the 28th overall or something like that, like I'm in, because you just got to get in there. And then what's your average? If it's 160 or 158, you need 3 blowout weeks at 200 plus if you're going to win it all anyway. So that average that you go in is just, is not going to be that differential as 15 points from one team to the other. So that's going to be made up with one player. So again,
it's all about
getting
getting
into that dance.
Yeah.
And you trade like 20, 30 points from your season long total just to have like one player you felt better about, going into that final week.
Exactly. You trade that in a second because, and that's also, you need that waiver wire money, and people blow all their money. And, because in the playoffs, you still you still get waivers. And those waivers can be huge. Go back 2 years ago when Kareem Hunt got hurt and Davonte Williams was available in week 13. And if you didn't have any money left, you weren't getting them. So that if you had $11 versus the other guy who had $4, Davonte Williams basically took you to the championship. So again, people, you got to know waivers they're just so important.
Vincent, we literally have people beg us every week to review our teams. We went like 3 weeks without looking at our teams, and we get multiple tweets every week saying, please review your team. So once the people stop begging us to roster bait, we will.
I actually think that I have no problem with the comment, because part of maybe the enjoyment of having us review the teams is then getting to be like, quit roster baiting, dude.
Yeah, right. No,
telling us to roster bait and then saying don't roster bait.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like kind of a fun viewing experience.
The Cooper Cup thing is just it's so tilting for me. It makes me, want to do drugs.
Thankfully, you own a dispensary, so
set yourself up.
You're good.
The dispensary, everything's going well there. I still can't get the discount, but I did say you can get a free glass pipe. So I can give you free paraphernalia, but I can't give you free weed. Can we get
if I send you a high res PNG, can we get ship chasing pipes?
Oh yeah, that would be pretty sweet, right?
That would be sweet. We could have like kind of the pink.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that. Oh well, I can talk to If you got me a high res, I can talk to the manufacturer who does that, and you can put them in your kits too that you send out with the frisbees.
Yes.
Well, those are for dogs. Those are for dogs.
Get your dog high with a ship chasing bong.
This will be a different one. It'll have a ship chasing henna tattoo.
That's a good idea by Kevin too. Yellow piss pipe works.
Yeah, there's milk foam edibles. You get those milk foam edibles for dogs. It's like catnip, and you and your dog can just hang out and with Davis and watch Dune for 8 hours straight and get into your spice. I was listening to your comments before. Read the book. The book is really good. The movie was terrible.
How much more does the book cover from what was in the movie?
Yeah, it doesn't cover that much, but he did write sequels to it. I mean, that went on. It was like the Adventures of Arrakis and all the other stuff. So they're just milking it. But what's contained in the book was really what was in the movie. But there are some like these after bullshit. The movie in the '80s was better with Kyle. If you really wanted to watch one, that was David Lynch back in the day.
Kyle MacLachlan, was that good?
Yeah, it was good.
So I did a little research after watching the movie and found that, and also was reading about the books. That's interesting what you say, because they did write that the main book is what this movie covered, because it did write a bunch more, and I think I saw somewhere that like the series of books span like 10,000 years. Like there's a ton of stuff that the books cover. And so then my response was, then why did the movie only cover like what felt like a month? Like it was like a few weeks, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because the book is the classic. That book was the classic. It was like, the Lord of the Rings that every kid, would read in high school. And the sequels were never hyped up. They were never big. And the story was really just about Paul Adib, him seeing his dream and then becoming a Freeman and his eyes turning blue.
So because the story in the movie, it's like a preface almost of like, in terms of what you'd expect this whole thing to be. Like it feels like maybe the first third of like the first book of the Lord of the Rings. Like I was assuming the book series went like that. I assumed actually that this might have been like the first third of the first book, but this covered the whole first book.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's what I thought, Pat. I was like, what is there going to be 9 movies? Like, we got a lot more ground to cover. We're just getting started here.
Yeah, it felt like scratching the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next movies are all just going to be made up stuff because no one's read the books or even thought about it. So it was all about the Freeman being hidden and that no one knew about them. They lived in these deep cisterns underneath the desert. And Paul Adib was the chosen one, and the witches basically, were never supposed to produce a boy, and since they had a boy, this was the prophecy. So, it's the book is a lot better.
Spoiler chasing.
Yeah, it's spoiler chasing, but the book.
I love that Andrew said the movie in the 80s was torn apart critically, and he heard that it was awful.
It's okay. So we have more of the first book to go. The movie, and then another one.
Crackrock, my question to you: did you go see this movie in the 80s, like in theaters?
Oh yeah, it was a big budget. Yeah, this was a big deal. Because Sting.
How much drugs did you do before?
How much spice were you on?
There was one prerequisite: you could never go to the movies not high. We would not go to the movie. I don't care what it was. You had to be high to enhance that experience.
Crackrock's eyes were bright blue.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, that was the thing. Yeah, to get that spice, the spice. Yeah, the 80s movies was cheesy, but if you were a fan of the book, it was good. And Sting was in it, and I loved the Police, so that was a big. That was a big draw also back in the day for Sting's big coming out party. And he was terrible as well. He was a terrible actor.
You guys want to talk Dune in a Twitter Spaces or something? Or
yeah,
I have nothing to contribute to the Dune conversation.
You don't have anything to say about this?
No, I mean, basically, I am feeling no FOMO about having not seen Dune. You guys are like, it'll get better. Like the second movie, the book's better. There's spice. I'm not feeling FOMO about Dune yet.
No, just read the book. The movie was just bad. It was bad. The question, all right, getting back to football, and this was on the handcuff stuff. Who is the handcuff in Pittsburgh?
McFarland.
Yeah.
I'm still not sold on that.
I think it's Balazs.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Roethlisberger was talking just the other day, had some quote right that McFarland now that McFarland's back in practice, he was talking up his offseason, how strong of an offseason he had after his rookie year, how he came back in such better shape and ready for year two. I think they really like McFarland. I'm excited for him.
So he was hurt. Now he's back. He hasn't seen the field though, right?
He's been on IR until this week. He got activated.
So Harris leads the NFL in snap share. So, like, to me, we can see something from McFarland. Like, does he eat into it at all, right? And then that gives you a better sense of, like, if he's able to take Harris's snap share down to like 78% instead of like 86%, then I'm starting to get pretty excited about McFarland if Harris would
I don't think he's going to eat up. I think Harris is going to be on the field 95% of the time.
But I don't think we can write that off. I mean, that's like, honestly, the first thing, Pat, I think you're absolutely right. That will be our indication that McFarland matters. That's what happened with Pirine coming back this week. He actually ate into Mixon's snap share. Like, he ran almost as many routes, and it wasn't just like late garbage time. They only ran the ball late. Their last 4 drives, literally 13 rushing plays, didn't throw a pass. So, like, Pirine was running routes in the flow of the game. He got a lot of carries late, but, like, he really cut into Mixon. To me, that was like, okay, we got – and then also the fact that he had the long touchdown late. But that was like, okay, we got confirmation that, Pirine is clearly the handcuff. We already kind of knew that. But, like, he's going to actually cut into Mixon, too, a little bit. Which, Krakow, weren't you saying some good stuff about Pirine on Twitter?
Yeah, because you can see that if – Mixon is so fragile. If something happens, Pirine is going to come in and just ball because Chris Evans ain't going to get any, ain't going to get any looks. And plus, they like Pirine out of the backfield to catch balls, which I didn't realize his hands were so soft. He's when you talk about handcuffs, you want someone like Pittsburgh is a disaster because you're going to have McFarland, you're going to have Balazs. If God forbid anything happened to Harris, there's just not going to be a clear guy. But Pirine is so clear in a way that if something ever happened to Mixon, he's going to come in and get close to 20 carries a game, and he's going to get all the goal line looks, and he's going to get catches. And that's why Ahmed, if something happens to Gaskin, he's going to come in and be that right now. So you saw what happened with Gaskin last year. He got all the touches. And now with Malcolm Brown out, who was basically, just there at the goal line, you don't have that guy at the goal line anymore. So I'm interested to see. I think those are 2 free handcuffs, Pirine and Ahmed, that need to be gobbled up. And that could be, obviously, you need an injury, but with Mixon's fragile, every week there could be something. Those are the 2 best handcuffs I saw, and then obviously, DJ, in Cleveland, if something ever, he's gone though. And then Herbert hasn't gotten a lot of talk because what's up with Montgomery? I haven't seen him come back, and Herbert has just been a stud.
Yeah, he's really good.
And I got a lot of shares of him. Timu just did yeoman's work on Herbert. He was ahead of that curve. He looks really good. I don't know if he's still out there. I doubt it, but you need to find who the next DJs and Herberts are. And for Marine, it's Pirine and Ahmed right now.
Are you watching? Do you watch all the tape? Crack Rock? Do you watch all the games? Do you watch Red Zone? What's your Sunday like?
I red zone it, and all I'm doing is just looking who's on the field, especially when the starters come out. And when Harris got tired, it was Balazs who came into the game. And Balazs for San Diego, did some impressive things last year. The guy runs hard, and that's what made me think that if anything happened to Harris, that he could get the bulk of the carries because McFarland hasn't done it, and he's free out there. Now, again, everything's conditioned on, something happened to the top backs. But this is what happens every week, right? Nick Chubb goes down, CMC goes down, Dalvin Cook goes down. So not only do you need the handcuff, but you need the right handcuff. Because, like, you talked about Eckler. Who's the handcuff in San Diego?
Yeah.
I mean, is it Justin Jackson? Is it Roundtree? Or is it Kelly?
I think the one you want is Jackson, because he would be the Eckler role. He wouldn't be Eckler, but he would have the most. But I agree with the point, which is that there's not really a clear guy.
Right. And that's where you gotta. That's why DJ came. We got lucky with DJ because Taylor just kept picking him up because Chubb got hurt, and then all of a sudden Hunt went down. So we just lucked into, you know, as I said, you know, if you ever play chess, when you move your pawn down, and all of a sudden you can turn him into a queen, or, you know, any player you want. Those are the type of the players that you need to have on your roster late. You know, you don't need Rager sitting there as your second. You know, you don't need Teddy Bridgewater. And, you know, if you have a second QB, you need these dollar, you know, handcuffs that can Darrell Williams was an example of some guy, especially late in the season. Just all, and look, you see what our team is right now. It's all handcuff RBs. And what's gross is that Tyson Williams in Baltimore hasn't gotten any playing time. I don't know what is going on there. That was the most bizarre thing to see. Le'Veon Bell, Latavius Murray, and Devontae Freeman all score a touchdown. So there's an example.
Tyson looked so good in that first game too. He I remember watching that first half of that first game, being like, "Wow,
what happened?" There's no info on him, and he's never on the field. That's what it must be. Yeah, he's not a veteran. He's a rookie, and he can't pick up that blitz, and they don't want to expose Lamar to that hit. But again, that's critical thinking, that you have to figure out who these. Not only do you need to pick the right handcuff, but you need to pick the right handcuff who can come in and carry the load. And P. Ryan is the perfect example of a guy who can come in and carry that load. And there's not a lot of those guys. Darrell Williams was a perfect example of a guy who can come in for CEH, because McKinnon isn't getting anything. And then DJ, look what DJ did. I mean, that game was so impressive. It's just Cleveland likes to run all the time. So again, I think Justin Jackson is the right guy. But again, what I do is I look at all the top running backs, and I look who's the first guy off the bench that comes in for him. And that's how I try to figure out who the handcuffs are. And especially, even if he only gets a couple of touches, that tells me he's the second guy the coaches want to come in. And that's why I would take Ballage over Mcfarland, just because.
Well, McFarland has been on IR until
we don't know yet with McFarland. Yeah, he hasn't played any. He hasn't played a regular season snap.
So I think this week will be I guess the counter to that is we haven't even seen McFarland active yet, so we'll see. I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's horrible to talk about rooting for injuries, but you just got to play the game of what if. What if Najee Harris tears his ACL this weekend? Who's going to be the guy? So pick that guy up on late Friday, waivers for $1, and hope that $1, becomes $9.95 that next week, and I just saved $955 on that team, right? Because I don't have to spend that much on Ballage. So you just got to get lucky and just game it out. Go take the top 12 running backs. Who's Eckler's backup? Who's Najee Harris's backup? Look at Booker. Booker, everyone laughed at me for drafting Booker with Saquon. You don't draft the same handcuff with the player that you have. That's so dumb. Crack Rock, you don't know what you're talking about. You draft the player on the other team.
It sounds like me.
Yeah, exactly. It was Gretsch. Why can't I spend my 18th round pick on the handcuff for the guy that I have and take?
Yeah, I think the key thing with that is the cost, right? Like if it's an 18th round pick, It doesn't matter. The thing is, like, if you're drafting like ETN and James Robinson, okay, that's dumb. You're
Right?
betting
Yeah.
against
No,
yourself.
with Eckler and Pollard,
or Zeke and Pollard.
that's
Yeah,
the problem. But if I have Jonathan Taylor, here's another guy. If Taylor tears his ACL, why aren't people picking up Marlon Mack? I know, but
well,
Marlon Mack would be that guy. Darrell Williams was another example. Every time, if you had CEH, why weren't you drafting Darrell Williams in the 18th round?
Yeah,
because you don't draft a handcuff on a team that you have. Well, yeah, you do, because
people do that a lot. Actually.
This is a great me impression. This is how I sound in my own head.
Well, I will say the stuff about the handcuffs is we do know certain teams and situations who like to go with a one-back system. Like you mentioned, the Giants and the Panthers. We've both seen them in previous spots with even Wayne Gallman on the Giants. Like, they like doing kind of a one-for-one for their guy, whereas stuff with the Steelers and the Chargers, I think those could be really messy committees.
The interesting thing about the Steelers are a one-back system. I mean, maybe the most clear-cut one-back system in the league. But I also don't know who that one back would be. That's why I'm kind of interested in Mcfarland, because we haven't seen him yet. They seem high on him. And traditionally, like, even going back to D'Angelo Williams, you know what I mean? Like, that has been the spot for handcuffs. And part of the reason why people were so excited about Najee, and then he comes in and he leads the league in snap share. Like, betting on Pittsburgh to ride one back has been a very good bet. So part of me actually feels like maybe Mcfarland is underrated, because to the point, to Sam's point, we haven't seen him at all. Like, we actually don't know. He might even, I don't think he's going to get to the Pirine level, but he might have a tiny bit of a role here. He might be.
Yeah, no, I remember I got into a huge Twitter war on this because it was Snell versus Mcfarland, and I kept Snell on a lot of teams, and Snell was actually the one who came out to be the one. It wasn't McFarland. McFarland, to me, is more of a Gio Bernard or a James White. I think they look at it.
That's
more
what he was
as
last year, but he's not like super tiny. Let me pull up his profile.
But Balaj ran hard last year for San Diego. When Eckler was out, Balaj had some good games. I think we actually picked him up on our team, our ship chasing team, and we played him. So I don't know why Balaj isn't getting more talk about.
I think Balaj became like a meme for how bad he was in Miami those couple of years. But yeah, he was actually pretty good last year. But I think
super gross clear handcuff that is probably available on a lot of leagues.
What?
Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, he is. He is. As much as how gross that is again, if J-Rob tears his ACL next week, who's going to get the bulk of carries?
So we've been talking about FUD. Then Crack Rock came on here and fudded the entire NFL. Everyone's tearing their ACL on Sunday.
Yeah, but that's how you have to do it. You have to have that mentality, because look what happened. Look what happened to CMC. Look what happened to CEH. Look what happened to David Montgomery. Look, you just have to just say, I'm not going to say ACL. I tore both of them. But if this running back goes down, who is going to be there to replace him? And then you just unfortunately have to get unlucky with the injury. But look, those things happen every week, and then if you can get that person the week before it happens, or you can stash him for a couple weeks, then he's on your bench, and you don't have to pay up like you're doing now for DJ. I mean, that's just gross. I mean, the Texans are just sickening. That they. I mean, has Brandon Cooks even caught any balls anymore? I don't want anyone on those teams. That team Tyrod Taylor coming back.
Yeah, the only thing to defend the Texans
goes perfect. Sorry.
I mean, no, I was just gonna say the only way to defend the Texans is like the game and a half with Tyrod. Their offense actually looked pretty good, but also in all those games, they were like ahead. They were ahead of the Jaguars. I think they were actually even like ahead of the Browns when Tyrod went down. So like if you get a situation where Tyrod's keeping the offense afloat, but they're in negative game scripts, I could see David Johnson just having like 6 targets a game, 4 or 5 catches, and like not being explosive at all, but he could be like the right place at the right time on like a competent offense, maybe. I don't know. It's not that exciting, but there could be something there.
Yeah, no, DJ is the pick there because Lindsey he doesn't catch the ball. So again, it's so hard to play a running back doesn't catch the ball. So Lindsey for me is garbage, and that's why I like Ahmed as well in Miami because he does catch the ball. So
that's true.
The PPR value is just so huge. And obviously, you can see it with when Harris had his and Eckler, and it's just that 1 point is 10 yards. It's so massive, and that's why I'd like to figure out who is Eckler's handcuff, who is Harris's handcuff. These are questions you got to ask yourself. And just put him on the team. So that's why I've been adding a lot of Balaj right now. I've been adding a lot of Ahmed, and I've been adding even some Boston Scott. I think Boston Scott is someone who could. I don't know what the deal is with Sanders, but someone that because he catches the ball as well. But you do have Gainwell there, so that's an issue as well. But again, at this point in the season, how many weeks are left? We're in what? This is week 8.
Crunch time.
How many weeks this season? The season is what? 12 weeks or 11 weeks? We have an extra game this year.
Yes,
it's 12 this year. It's usually 11. Okay, so it's 12.
Because we got the all play week. We play everyone once, and they get an all play.
All right, so we got 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so 5 weeks left. So now now's the time. Especially using those second waiver wires are just great. I got so much DJ. I got so much Herbert on those Friday night. Well, it's not Friday night anymore. It's Sunday night or whatever it is. But you got it. You got to stack your benches now with handcuffs.
Yeah, and that's why I pulled this up because I do think this is another part of the puzzle when we're starting now that we have enough data to kind of know some of these
this is interesting
weaknesses. So this is just the RotoViz strength of schedule heat map, and I just filtered it for weeks 13 through 17. But definitely some interesting things there. When we're talking about a Javonte Williams surge, and you see the Denver schedule, or talking about the Philly handcuffs there with Scott and Gainwell. That schedule looks pretty nice. So this is
this running back schedule, Pete, or just overall?
Yeah, okay. Running back.
Pete, I wanted to ask you about Davonte Williams, like from a DFS really perspective.
Yeah.
Like, how close do you think we are with Williams to where we like start to kind of do the like, this could be like, do we want to try to be a week ahead of this? Because it feels like we're not there yet, but it feels like maybe we're close. What do you think?
It's getting closer. It's definitely getting closer. Plus, he's getting a lot of catches as well, which is just so great for a running back that they're throwing to him because I didn't realize how soft his hands were. I thought Michael Carter was the pass catching and he was just a banger, but he catches the ball nicely. He seems like of all the running backs, he seems like the one that's just coming on and just chugging. And look at that schedule: KC, Denver, Cincy, Vegas, and then the Chargers.
Yeah,
and then Philly as well, and then San Francisco. Hasty was I got 40 Hasties last week before he played. So I'm happy with that.
Did you say 40? Like 40?
Yeah, 40. Well, I have like 87 teams, which is kind of low, but yeah. But what I do is
only 87.
Yeah, wow.
No, but
we let guys on the stream that only have 87 teams. I thought there was like 100 limit.
No, I didn't max out. the max out is that's cocktails and dreams and Hubbard. But the thing is, when you have those many teams, on Friday night, I just literally Hasty was there, and I just went and just done 40 teams. Well, not me, Tamu went, and we all of a sudden, all my teams now have 40% share of Hasty on my roster. So again, I'm fudding Elijah Mitchell right now, and that's how you have to look. Fantasy football is war. You can't have fucking sympathies over this whole thing. Don't victory lap an injury on Twitter. That's so wrong. It's like, what are you talking
If
about?
Elijah Mitchell goes down, Crack Rock's going to be writing in all caps. Michael Hasty.
Dude, that was, I mean, literally, I watched the entire San Francisco game, and I'm just watching him, waiting for him to go down. I mean, I'm just a sick fuck that just wants to, I just want the cash, and I just want to win. And when you have 40% share in someone, you want him to, the guy ahead of him to go down.
You are a sick fuck, man.
Yeah, that's sick, dude.
I think we should probably power this.
You should hit the sauna.
before...
Stop watching the games and wishing ill on all these guys. Go hit the sauna with Pete.
Yeah, before
I'm
Crack
a big sauna fan too.
Plotting to
love
Nancy Kerrigan, Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to a San Francisco game with a crowbar and just sit on the sideline and be like, "Yo, Mitchell, send me that ball. Give me that ball. Oh, what's that over there? Oh, what's that crowbar
behind his back?"
This is
I think Mitchell's safe, guys, because that plan will not work.
Crack Rock, how about if you got the ball, we'll go out on this. If you got Tom Brady's the ball,
I was
what kind of negotiation would you have?
I would have sprinted so fucking fast like Derrick Henry out of that fucking building that you wouldn't have been able to catch me. The guy should have taken it, turned around, and sprinted and just said to his friends, block for me, and just got into his car and drove off. I mean, you got to just turn around and run, dude. You knew that was the 600 ball, and Evans fucked up. And he's like, "Oh, sure, here's your ball back, blah, 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 blah." I mean, that happened with Barry Bonds' 700 ball. Remember the guy wouldn't give it back, and he put it on eBay? I would have taken that, sprinted, and it would be on eBay as fast as you could say, and I would make Brady go buy it on eBay and get my $500,000. You had to turn around and run, dude. Just run as fast as you can up those stairs and just disappear into the crowd, never to be seen again. It would have been the most
had that
all-time
4.2 speed out there.
There was no doubt. I would have gotten one of those adrenaline shots.
Speed?
I would have taken one of those adrenaline shots right into the heart, like in Pulp Fiction, and just pulled.
You have one of those just
Henry.
Ready, just in case you get Brady's 600 ball at some point?
Yeah, because if I was sitting at the back of the end zone, I would have known that could have been a possibility.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
That guy was just way too nice, dude. Way too nice. You got to get that ball, and you got to sprint the hell out of it.
Tell me the conversation that happens when you bump into Robert Kraft at one of these dinners, and you're the guy that sprinted out of the stadium with Tom Brady's ball.
Well, he would have been proud of me because the guy, only thing he loves is money. So he would have been no. Look, he knows how much that ball would have went to. I could have probably sold it to him in Southampton and met him at dinner that night. I still am not getting enough credit for telling everyone that Cam Newton was going to get cut a week before he got cut and that Mac Jones was going to be the quarterback. And no one believed me.
Well, you're not going to get the credit here because no one gives a shit.
No.
All right, we're going to shut this down before Crack Rock gets himself canceled. Thank you to Sam for hopping on tonight and steering our waiver ship. Appreciate you taking the lead on that on Wednesdays. Crack Rock, as usual, it's a pleasure. Ben Gretsch looking all too fresh in your ship chasing gear. Pat, any final words here as we go out?
No, man, this is fun.